Peloton has released their first video game for the Bike and Bike Plus called Peloton Lanebreak. Today we'll provide an overview of the game, give a quick review, and look at some things that could be added in the future to improve it. Peloton Lanebreak is a cross between Guitar Hero, Mario Kart, and Tron. The concept is simple. Rather than watching a coach lead the class, you're riding along a racetrack, trying to earn points as you go through different challenges. Everything is controlled with your leg speed and the resistance knob on the bike. You have a variety of different playlists and difficulty levels to choose from. Overall, the game seems like a nice small addition to the Peloton platform, but we imagine most people will end up using this for warm-ups and cool-downs rather than their main workouts. We'll dive more into that later, but first, let's look at how to play Peloton Lanebreak. To start Lanebreak, head to the More Rides tab on the bottom of your Bike or Bike Plus screen. Click the Lanebreak panel to open the game. The first time the game opens, you have the option to take a tutorial, which we highly recommend doing. The goal of Peloton Lanebreak is to score as many points as you can, which you can do by completing challenges as you're riding. There are 3 different types of challenges. First is beats, where you earn points just by being in the correct lane on the track. To change lanes, you use the red resistance knob on the bike. Each lane corresponds to a certain resistance range. The next challenge is called breakers, which is a short section of the track where you earn points by increasing your output. Since you have to stay in your lane, you'll increase your output by increasing your cadence or leg speed. Finally, you have streams, which is when you earn points by staying within a specified cadence range in the correct lane. Before you start riding, you have to pick your playlist, which also controls how long the game will be. There are a number of different playlists available, each of different lengths, including pop, rock, EDM, and more. Peloton has said they'll be adding new playlists on a regular basis. There are also a number of playlists dedicated to specific artists, David Bowie and David Guetta initially. And one would assume they'll add more of these in the future as part of new artist series. Once you pick your playlist, you then choose your difficulty level. You have 4 choices: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert. The only difference between the difficulty levels is that harder levels mean each lane has a higher resistance target. For example, on intermediate, one of the middle lanes has a range of 38 to 44 resistance. On expert mode, that same lane has a resistance range of 48 to 54. At the end of the game, you'll get an overall score and placement on a new in-game leaderboard, which you can go in and browse once the game's over. Each difficulty level has its own leaderboard, so you can compare yourself against people riding the same resistance targets. You're also awarded stars based on the percent of the challenges you complete. You get 1 star for finishing at 21% of the challenges, a 2nd star for finishing 51% of the challenge, and a 3rd star for finishing 85% of the challenges. Unlike your overall score, which is unique per difficulty level on the same playlist, once you've earned 3 stars in any difficulty mode for that level or playlist, you've maxed out. And that's basically all there is to playing Peloton Lanebreak. Let's look at a few tips and tricks for the game. If you're going for a perfect score and miss one of the challenges, you have the option to immediately restart the level. Just tap the center of your screen, then on the top right, you'll have an option to restart that ride. Confirm your choice, and you'll start back at the beginning of that playlist and difficulty mode. The game is set up so that sometimes you have challenges in 2 different lanes at the same time, and you have to pick one. To maximize your score, you'll want to always pick the lane further to the right, since you earn more points for challenges in lanes further to the right. The way the game currently works, it doesn't matter where in the lane you are. This means you earn the same number of points if you ride to the far left of the lane versus the far right of the lane. So if you need some recovery, hang out towards the bottom of your lane where the resistance is easier. And speaking of recovery, it's possible to sneak some quick breaks in during the game. Unless you're at a breakers challenge or a streams challenge, your cadence doesn't really matter. This means you can stop pedaling for brief periods of time in between challenges if you need to, and not lose any points. Also, for the beats challenges, as long as you're above 20 cadence, you'll continue to earn points. So you can easy pedal here if you need to as well. Once you finish a level, you'll get a new screen at the end of the game. It tells you what percentage of each of the challenges you completed and how many stars you've earned. your placement on the leaderboard for that difficulty level, and then an overview of your normal stats like distance, output, stride score, and calories. You can also go back and view the overall leaderboard of any ride you've completed. There is both an all-time leaderboard as well as a leaderboard for the last 7 days, likely in an effort to make people want to play Lanebreak more often. There are different leaderboards for each difficulty level as well. So that's a look at what Peloton Lanebreak is and how it works. The biggest downsides we can see right now are that with the playlist being the same, depending on how quickly Peloton adds new levels, people could get bored with it, as you'd have to listen to the same playlist over and over, though people have experience with this from taking warm-ups and cool-downs in some of Peloton's programs. In addition, there's no variety to the tracks that you're racing on, and it's simply a plain track that might have come from an Atari game that continues on and on and on. There's no scenery changing in the background. That might help keep the player more interested, which may turn some people off from the game. One thing that will be a downside for sure and upside for others is that this requires you to be more focused and pay closer attention. You can't really zone out as you need to be changing lanes quickly sometimes and keeping within certain ranges. Some people will enjoy this while others won't. With the game being brand new, there are a number of features missing or small enhancements that could be made, which would improve the game. Check out the article accompanying this video for a list of what those are. Since Peloton will hopefully be adding a number of those features soon, we didn't want to include them here and have it be out of date quickly. And that is Peloton Lanebreak in a nutshell. Let us know in the comments what you think about the game or what improvements you'd like to see made in the future.